Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum. My name is Issan Ghazni and I'd like to share some thoughts today with you with regards to the situation in Pakistan. I'd just like to say that I don't think PTI will finish. PTI will not end because people are being forced to leave it. As you can see from the media, in terms of the press releases, people are giving statements and saying that they're about to leave the party and they're being forced to do so. And they're being forced to do so because they're being blackmailed, they're being tortured, their families are being arrested, abused, their homes are being smashed up, and they're threatened. And PTI won't end because women are being abused and all sorts of pressure is being applied, including the disgusting practice of taking video footage and issuing threats of violence and trying to shame people into leaving. PTI won't end despite everything that's going on. And why is that? Well, firstly, we have to accept that the level of brutality and the level of violence that people are having to endure is terrible. Most people cannot endure that level of pressure and violence. So we have to respect the fact that these people have suffered, and there's no doubt about it. Most people here in the UK would not be able to endure that level of suffering. So let's accept that times have been very, very hard for these people. However, what we have to say is that most of the people leaving are not ideological partners in PTI. Most have previously joined during the PTI surge a few years ago. Some were encouraged to join by invisible forces, and some that left recently didn't get tickets for the forthcoming elections. Some of them have business interests to protect, and others are not ideologically invested in PTI. Now, the main exception to that, of course, is Shiri Mazari, who left due to other pressures applied, yet to be disclosed by her at a later date. She is someone who will be sadly missed because she was an amazing political leader and she was highly educated, a strongly ideological figure within the party, and she will be missed. But I don't think we've seen the end of her, and I think she will come back in some form once the dust has settled. And new people will take their places. So I don't think because of people leaving that will cause too many problems for PTI. I think new people will come in to take their places. Secondly, I don't think PTI will end because it's not the votes of these individuals who will decide the outcome of future elections, but of the masses of the Pakistani public who are the PTI vote bank. And they are still in place. The PTI vote bank hasn't shifted. Indeed, it's got stronger and stronger whilst they're watching the disgraceful behaviour of the elites in dismantling democracy and applying pressure to ban PTI. The PTI vote bank is actually going up day by day. PTI won't end because on the whole, the Pakistani public still supports Imran Khan and PTI. And indeed, as I've said before, recent events have pushed his popularity to even higher levels. So my thinking is that as long as the vote bank is intact, PTI cannot disappear. PTI will not end because PTI is no longer just Imran Khan. Although we have to accept that he is the most powerful figurehead and iconic leader, not just in Pakistan, but throughout the Muslim world, and is widely respected across the world in European capitals as well. PTI will not end because PTI is a vision. PTI is a dream. PTI is an ideological concept for a future Pakistan. PTI is a movement. You cannot kill an idea when its time has come. I'll just give you an example. Did the Free India movement collapse when British imperial rulers put themselves into the position of harassing and imprisoning the freedom fighters during the Azadi struggle pre-1947? Look at the thousands of people that are put in prisons and tortured. Did it end the struggle for Azadi? No, it didn't. So you can't kill an idea. Imran Khan is not just an individual. He is an idea. He is a vision. He's a movement. He's a dream. He is an ideological concept. And even once that person has gone, the vision remains. And that's what the Pakistani public have bought into. So you can't kill PTI just on that basis. You can't kill PTI also because Imran has done his job. And his job was to wake up the public in Pakistan and give them a vision, a hope, a dream, and the strength and confidence to snatch power and control from the ruling corrupt elites and the Vaderes and the land and business mafias, all of whom stand in the way of a free, democratic, egalitarian, honest, principled society in Pakistan, which is based on the supremacy of the rule of law and the constitution, and which punishes the criminals and the corrupt and the powerful and creates a level playing field where all the people in Pakistan can access quality education, welfare, health, the law and economic opportunities, where everybody has self-respect and can live their lives and rise to the top. That is what the PTI vision is, and you can't kill that, because that vision is now in the hearts and the minds and the souls of the majority of the 230 million people. PTI won't end because the genie will now not go back into the bottle. We overseas Pakistanis and the Pakistani public will not let that happen. So whatever happens to Imran, he has now left a massive cadre of young people and a new level of leadership across the country who will follow his vision, his principles and values, and set up a compass for Naya Pakistan and for Haqeeqi Azadi. Again, that is with or without Imran Khan. That's why PTI, as a concept, as a dream, as a vision, as an idea, cannot be killed. So no amounts of defections will kill PTI. No amounts of new parties being set up will kill PTI. These new parties are being set up for political engineering. It's the same old script, and it will not work this time. This is the same old script that's been used time and time again by the establishment. It will not work. I tell you that, and I assure you of that. No amount of fake joker medical reports will kill PTI. No amount of cheap posters calling PTI members traitors will kill PTI. No amount of abductions and torture of journalists like Imran Khan and Sami Ibrahim will kill PTI. No amount of media blackout on PTI and Imran Khan can kill PTI. No amount of attacks on Imran Khan's character can kill PTI. We must remember that PTI has become a jinn for the ruling and corrupt mafia elites, which they fear and cannot control. Why can't they control it? Because no amount of state control by a minority government which has no legitimacy either in public perception or public support, even if it is supported by the establishment, can win the argument against the PTI vision for Pakistan. You cannot defeat a vision which the public has accepted. Your narratives are all lies and fake. Nobody buys into it anymore, not even international governments and international media. PTI will not end because presently there are approximately 10,000 PTI workers in prisons being tortured right at this very moment in time. And what do you think will happen to those people? We call this process going through the furnace. So it's actually called going through the furnace, because what it means is that metal is being forged into steel. Each one of those detained activists and workers will come out as hardened political activists with an even greater zeal for PTI and for its vision. By doing this, they don't realize that they're actually strengthening the party and they're creating a further 10,000 ideologues. Just imagine there's 10,000 people coming out who are angry, who are now even more ideologically driven. Then add to that their circles of influence with their friends, their families and their local communities. And what do you think is going to happen? They don't realize that they're forging an even stronger party to come, an even more powerful party to come. And what do you think will happen to all those women activists and supporters who are reportedly being detained and abused inside prisons? What will they do when they come out? Somewhere within those 10,000 detained activists are the next set of Imran Khans, maybe even more ideologically driven and maybe even more uncompromising. The future is truly frightening for Pakistan's ruling corrupt, the elites and the mafia. So my message to British overseas Pakistanis, and indeed to all overseas Pakistanis across the world, is don't despair. The long night of brutality, repression and destruction of personal freedoms and rights, the dismantling of democracy and the constitution by this corrupt elite will come to an end soon. It cannot last because international media and governments are watching, and it cannot be sustained for too long. Pakistan is already a banana republic with no rule of law, just the law of the jungle. By that we mean that might is right and there is no democratic, security or judicial accountability. Don't despair. The people of Pakistan are in shock at the moment. They are quiet. Certainly we're not hearing much because they're thinking, they're reflecting on this horror show. But soon, as the dust settles, and once they begin to witness the destruction left behind by the tsunami of this brutality that's just been inflicted on the Pakistani public and on the democratic norms of the country by the elites, then the resistance will slowly begin to grow. Voices will slowly start talking, the noise will get louder, and the public reaction, when it comes, will be even stronger than ever. The public have made up their minds. They don't want to be ruled by fascists and corrupt elites and mafias ever again. Please put this into your minds and your hearts that change is definitely coming. The air is thick with resistance and anger. The attempt to make Pakistan a police state, a security state, will fail. It'll come to an end. Don't think that because everybody is quiet at the moment that this state will last forever. Historically, these types of brutal crackdowns have always had the effect of quietening people down, but only for a short period of time before they rise again. So please do not despair. Also, elections will have to take place. And the reason why I'll say the elections have to take place, despite the fact that the PDM is running and hiding behind stones, avoiding an election with a PTI that is strong, because they know they're going to be wiped out. But the economy is on its knees, and this cabal of corrupt politicians and PDM cannot manage the effects of a broken down economy. They have what they want, and that is they wanted NROs. They've got freedom from their criminal cases, and now they couldn't care less. Project Bilawal Zardari is running, so there's an attempt now to install Bilawal, and after installing Bilawal, they're going to try to install Maryam. There is a script in place, but that script will not happen, and it will not happen because the public will not allow it to happen. These people are incompetent, they're corrupt, they're villainous, and they will make all the mistakes that criminals make. So also note that the IMF is not providing any funds. Other friendly countries are not providing any bailouts. And the reason why these people and these organizations are not providing bailouts is because they want elections and they want a stable country. Now that can never happen without the PTI's involvement. Overseas Pakistanis also have stopped remittances, and so elections have to take place. If they don't take place, the country will implode. And what these criminal elements and the corrupt elite are worried about more than anything else is that we don't push the system so far that actually it collapses in on itself, because once it collapses, then they will be history. So elections have to take place in order to safeguard the economy, to try and pick the economy back up again. They have to go through with it. So the election will take place with PTI in whatever format, whether that Imran Khan involved or Imran Khan being behind the scenes. Whatever happens, you cannot isolate 90% of the Pakistani public from the elections. So please remember, with Imran at the front or with Imran behind, at the helm, it might be somebody else, but the elections have to take place. So I think that is an important way of looking at it from an overseas Pakistani's point of view. Also, PTI cannot be banned, because the last time this was tried against Jamaat Islami, it failed at the Supreme Court. But let's imagine the Supreme Court is compromised, and let's imagine a petition is taken to the Supreme Court to ban PTI, and they do try to ban it. Okay, that's fine. But you see, it's possible for PTI to come back in another form, through another political party. And it doesn't mean that it has to be called PTI. It can be called something else. The most important thing is that Imran Khan is involved, either here in the country or out of the country, and that the vision is exactly the same, and the ideals and the principles by which Haqeeqi Azadi are followed are exactly the same. So either way, PTI as a concept cannot be banned. So I have some advice, whether people like it or not. And the first piece of advice I'm going to give to the PTI leadership in the UK. And I think simply on these terms. My question to the PTI leadership in the UK is, my friends, where are you? Nobody can see you. Nobody can hear you. Where have you been hiding these last few days? Where is the so-called official president of PTI UK? Where is his team? Where are the regional so-called official elected people? Where are the so-called local city-based official elected people? I'm talking from Nottingham. And here in Nottingham, we've had no official press release by either any of the city-based elected people, either in Nottingham, Leicester, Derby, or in the East Midlands. My question to you is, what are you running away from? What are you hiding from? Is this not the time to show leadership and to give confidence to the many thousands of overseas Pakistanis in the UK who are feeling down, who are feeling despondent, who feel a lack of confidence at the moment? Don't you think it's your job to talk to them, to organise some form of protest, some resistance? The PTI members and supporters network are in the middle of a massive letter writing campaign to MPs and peers. We're in the middle of putting together a petition for Parliament. Now, that should be something that the national PTI should be doing and leading at a big level. I'm sorry, but your absence is noted and everybody across the UK is watching you. There is complete silence from PTI UK and it looks like you have failed the Pakistani overseas public badly. My message to the senior leadership of PTI is that you have failed miserably during these past few weeks to lead, organise, inspire and to pull everybody together. You have failed the overseas Pakistanis in the United Kingdom. I say shame on you all. Leave the role. If you cannot act as a president or if you cannot act as a senior team and you can't do your job, you should leave the role. Learn your lesson. Otherwise, you will become further irrelevant and sidelined. And my message to overseas Pakistanis is this. Please do not worry. Everything will settle down shortly. You cannot intimidate. You cannot lock up. You cannot brutally repress 90% of the Pakistani public out of the 230 million people. The night will end and dawn will come. I promise you. Have faith in Imran Khan and the millions of PTI supporters in Pakistan. The movement for Haqeeqi Azadi will not die and will not be dampened. The gin is out of the bottle. The youth, armed with social media and a free mind triggered by the vision and courage given to them by Imran Khan, will continue the battle, no matter what. The reaction when it finally comes will be in the form of either public resistance or votes in the ballot box. I assure you, please keep your spirits up, keep your heart high and keep your strength levels up. My belief is that PTI will be back soon in whatever form and Imran Khan will definitely become Prime Minister of Pakistan again. These criminals and corrupt elite and the mafia will leave the country as quickly as they can and they'll leave behind their shoes and socks and property and elections will have to take place and the PTI will definitely contest the elections in one form or another, whether Imran Khan is leading it or is behind the scenes. It will have to happen. Those high-quality political leaders who recently left PTI will return, whilst others who we term fussli batere will be lost forever. And it's their mistake, and they will realise once PTI comes back, once Imran Khan is back, once PTI is back to full strength, those people, unfortunately, will be on the other side of the fence. I assure you, my years of experience of looking at situations, reading history, of political thought, is that a new and more stronger, ideologically hardened and visionary leadership will emerge around Imran Khan. All the rubbish is leaving. Pakistan will be free. Azadi will be achieved. I have absolutely no doubt about that. And you overseas Pakistanis should also have no doubt about that at all. Please keep your chins up. Please keep your spirits high. And inshallah, Haqeeqi Azadi will be achieved. My name is Issan Ghazni and I thank you for listening.